Hello, hello! It is February and that means it is LGBT History Month. For LGBT History Month I figured I would make a video about the top 11 worst LGBT tropes in media. Why 11? Well, because I wrote this by hand and I accidentally wrote number 5 twice, because I'm dyslexic and I then couldn't figure out which one I wanted to delete. So 11 it is! Number 11. Bury your gays. What is it? Well, you've probably heard of this one. It is the most well known, I think. The basic premise is that one of usually two LGBT characters, usually gay and usually in a relationship with the other one, is killed or dies before the end of the piece of media. More often than not, leaving their lover bereft, alone, and without hope for ever making another relationship in the future because there are no other LGBT people here. Why is it bad? Well, it reinforces the idea that LGBT people cannot have long-lasting and fulfilling relationships. That all LGBT relationships are doomed to end in disaster, sacrifice, death, and sadness. How can you avoid this? What can you do better if you're a piece of media creator? Or what should you look for if you want to recommend things with LGBT characters? Don't kill your LGBT characters. Or if this won't work for whatever reason, say you're writing a war piece or, I don't know, one of them started off terminally ill, include more LGBT people in your piece of media and have some of them not end in disaster. Also, if you're really worried about bury your gays, remember that it's not bury your gays if there is another LGBT couple that lasts or breaks up or lives life without tragedy. Number 10. Struggling to come to terms with the fact that you're LGBT. What is it? It's a character who realises that they're LGBT and then wrestles with the idea, the concept, the possibility that they're not normal. How awful, how tragic. Why is it bad? Well, in case you couldn't tell from all the melodrama that I just put forth, being LGBT is not abnormal. It's not necessarily something you have to come to terms with. Now, don't get me wrong, some people do struggle with the idea that they are LGBT and with the idea that their life is going to be different from how they expected. And a lot of people worry about coming out and how people will react. But the vast majority of LGBT people are excited that they have finally found a label. They finally have a word for what they're feeling. They finally have a community to belong to. They're not just weird. Being attracted to women or being trans is normal. It's nice to know that. To stop feeling like you're falsifying your life. So how to avoid it and what to do better? Have someone be relieved that they're LGBT. Have them stumble upon the label and go, "This is a thing? Yes! Finally!" Give them an LGBT mentor, like an aunt or an uncle or their parents' gay friend or their parents' trans friend. Or better yet, don't have them come out at all. Have it set after they've realised they're LGBT and have them just be LGBT in the media. Leave coming out stories to people who've, come out. Number 9. Don't like labels. What is it? It's usually a bi, pan, polysexual person. There are slashes between those words. They vaguely mention that they're attracted to more than one gender. And then they go, "But I don't like labels," or "My family likes labels and I..." And have them stare off into the sunset or whatever. Why is this bad? Well, it strips bi, pan, poly representation. Also, every LGBT person that I have ever met or talked to or interacted with in any way, shape or form likes their label. So how do you avoid it? What can you do better? Give them a label. It's really simple. If they're bi, call them bi. If they're ace, call them ace. If they're pan, then they're pan. I could go on, but I won't. Number 8 is don't talk about being LGBT. What is it? It's when LGBT characters don't ever mention that they're LGBT, or talk about things that imply that they're LGBT, or kind of mention it once when they come out, and then never again. Why is it bad? It's inaccurate. That's the big one. People talk about their lives. I mean, think about the last few conversations you've had. People talk about their lives. They talk about their partners, their exes, their history. Trans people complain when they get misgendered. They ask if a shirt makes them look too masculine or feminine. They scope out bathrooms in public spaces. The only time LGBT people specifically do not talk about being LGBT is when they're around people who are homophobic or transphobic, or who they haven't seen as friendly to LGBT people. So how can you avoid this? What can you do better? Throw in things like I mentioned above. You want to have a trans character but don't want them to come out as trans, or talk about their history, or how they got to where they are. You want to just have them be trans in the narrative. They're as transitioned as they want to be, they're happy with their life, they just don't talk about their history. That's fine. But you can have that trans character ask someone, hey, what are the bathrooms like here in a public space? And if it's someone who knows that they're trans, they can be there like gender split, quiet, one stall, and all of these useful factors that trans people actually want to know. Or if it's somebody who doesn't know, they can say things like clean, which totally misses the point, but is also useful information. Number 7 is heterosexual mirroring. What is it? An LGBT relationship, which is usually a gay relationship, that mirrors stereotypes for a heterosexual relationship. For example, a camp or effeminate gay man with a hypermasculine gay man. Why is this bad? While some LGBT relationships do fall into that category, it's not all that common. It's especially bad to see a butch woman who goes to work and a hyperfeminine woman who makes house. Not only does it reinforce the idea that the more feminine you are, the more you should be a good little housewife, but it makes cisgender heterosexual people feel more comfortable asking questions like, who's the man in the relationship? So how to avoid it and what to do better? Well, you don't need a masculine and a feminine person to make a relationship. Have 2 butch women together, have 2 feminine women together, have a gender non-conforming and non-binary set of people in a relationship. Number 6 is having no LGBT friends. What is it? There's usually only 1 or 2 LGBT people in a group of straight cis people, and if 2, they're usually in a relationship with each other, or are building up to being in a relationship with each other, or have been in a relationship with each other and have that sort of like, oh, we're exes but still friends, I love them. Why is it bad? Well, LGBT people have LGBT friends. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of straight friends, but I also have a lot of LGBT friends. How to avoid it and what to do better? Diversify your cast. Have more LGBT people. Or if for some reason you absolutely cannot have more LGBT people, have the LGBT people that do exist talk about their LGBT friendship group. Talk about whoever else they know who is LGBT, because I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of us. We're everywhere. Number 5 is the walking stereotype. What is it? Effeminate gay man, theatre-loving gay man, butch gay woman, sports-loving gay woman, indecisive bisexual, slutty pansexual, anti-monogamy polysexual, broken asexual character, inhuman aromantic character. Why is it bad? Reinforcing these stereotypes makes life really difficult for LGBT people. It makes it really difficult for LGBT youth to find the right label, because they think that being attracted to the same gender means they have to emulate a different gender. It makes asexual and aromantic people feel like they're less human because they're not experiencing romantic or sexual attraction. So how to avoid it and what you can do better? LGBT people are just people. Make your character, flesh them out, make them real. They're not a cardboard cutout. It's not necessarily bad to make a gay woman who plays football, or to make a gay woman who has short hair, or to make someone who does fall into the category of butch lesbian. These people exist. That's fine. But are you doing it because it's the only cardboard cutout image of a lesbian you can think of? Number 4 is gay for you or gay for now. What is it? It's a character who is nominally straight, who is known to be straight, who is said to be straight, who is implied to be straight, who is put in a situation where only people of the same gender are available. For example, prison? Obviously the character cannot go without some kind of relationship, and therefore they begin some kind of encounter with someone of the same gender. Why is it bad? Well, it makes LGBT relationships seem less legitimate. It's a for now situation. You're special, but not that special. It erases bisexuality and pansexuality and polysexuality and so on and so forth. It implies that you can fill your need for human connection in a very specific way with some poor gormless gay person. How to avoid it and what to do better. If you want a character to be in a same-gender only situation, and you want to have them end up in a relationship, even if it's only temporary, have them realise that they're bi, or pan, or poly, or whatever. Have them know that beforehand that they were bi, or pan, or poly, or whatever. If they find a person of the same gender that they do want to be with permanently, or even for now, or whatever, have them explore the idea that they were always bi, pan, poly, whatever, but they didn't know it yet. Or heck, make them be demisexual, make them only like people that they've known for a while. Just stop making people straight with exceptions. Number 3 is queer coding in villains. What is it? Well, if you look at Disney villains from the Disney Renaissance period, like Scar from The Lion King, Governor Radcliffe from Pocahontas, Hades from Hercules, Ursula from The Little Mermaid. These villains aren't LGBT, but they're given characteristics typically presented in LGBT characters, particularly gay men, as presented in media. Why is it bad? It conflates the idea that LGBT identity and stereotypes are villainous. And while there was kind of a reason for this when it first came about, there is no reason for it anymore. You need to stop. It's 2019. Stop it. So how do you avoid it? What do you do better? Have a hypermasculine villain. If you want this cis, het, able-bodied white guy to be the everyman, he has to be the villain also sometimes. Number 2 is, by the way, they're gay. What is it? Out of narrative or out of world outing of a character. So saying that a character is LGBT outside of the narrative that they're actually existing in. Why is it bad? It's not including LGBT people in your media. It's not representation. It doesn't give you brownie points. It doesn't count. It's nothing. Omniscient narrator, outer world voice is irrelevant if it's not in the book or the film or the TV show or whatever. It's not in the world. And the grand finale number 1 is no diversity within LGBT characters. What is it? LGBT characters have only one aspect of being LGBT, and they're usually white and cis, quite often male, and almost always gay. Why is it bad? Well, it's not always bad. Because obviously having any LGBT people in a piece of media is better than having no LGBT people in a piece of media. But LGBT people are everywhere. We're disabled, we're from all different places, we're trans and gay, trans and bi, we come in all kinds. And to shrink it down to this teeny tiny percentage is very alienating for the rest of us. So what can you do better? How can you avoid this trope? Give us disabled LGBT characters. Give us a trans character who's also bi. Give us the gender fluid Han Chinese man with dyscalculia that we've all been waiting for. Make us fat, make us thin, make us muscular, make us brown, white, black, East Asian, West Asian, Aboriginal. Give us physical disabilities, mental disabilities, learning disabilities. Have us be missing a leg. I don't care. Just put in more. Stop being afraid of making it too specific. There's no such thing as too specific. Somebody like that exists in the world. If you're looking for a character who is non-binary, bisexual and has a learning disability, hi, you've come to the right place. That's me. I'm Will. I go by nopoodles on the internet and I exist in reality. I have a wife. I have rabbits. I live my life. I make YouTube videos and stories and I'm about to publish a book. That's a lie, I'm not even close. I've finished the first draft of my book. We exist in all forms. Let us be diverse. So anyway, that's my top 11 worst LGBT tropes. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you like what I do, feel free to subscribe or support me on my Ko-fi account, which there is a link to in the description. If you want to read my stories, check out nopoodles.wordpress.com. And if you'd like me to make more videos like this, please leave a comment or tweet me or contact me in some way, shape or form. All of my links are listed below. And I will see you at the end of the month for my read aloud, which will be something I probably haven't written yet.